Tammy, thank you again for taking the time here at SketchUp Basecamp for this interview. Can you please introduce yourself for our viewers?
Sure. I'm Tammy Cody. I teach SketchUp over at SketchUp for interior designers. I only teach SketchUp and I mainly teach interior designers.
Okay, so that's really your focus point.
It is.
For how long have you been using SketchUp?
About 10 years.
10 years. You started your career with SketchUp?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you like to focus on during your training sessions?
My main focus is model organization so that designers can be efficient when they go to make edits.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really big on having an organized model from the start, having a good base so that your workflow is efficient.
What does that consist of, basically, because we have a bit of time, but where do you start? Where do you want to start to be efficient later on in your project?
Well, it really varies by project. It just depends on the needs of the project, the starting point, kind of where we're headed. If we're doing an on-site measure, it's going to be a little bit different, or starting with the WG file. Mm-hmm. But overall, just making sure that you are grouping or componentizing every piece of your puzzle, basically, so that nothing is left loose, so that you're able to then put things on tags and into scenes, control visibility, things like that. You can have a really beautiful looking file and have everything loose and it looks great as you move through it, but then when you go to edit it and make a change and the client decides they want something different, then you have a sticky mess. So then you are kicking your past self and just having to start over sometimes. So doing the work ahead of time to organize and group, componentize, make sure everything's aligned with the axis when necessary, things like that will save your future self from having to start over when the client decides they don't like a piece of the puzzle.
So the keyword here is efficiency.
Yes.
When you're working with clients, this organization, I bet it does,
yes.
But can you be a bit more specific?
Yes, absolutely. So if a client decides that they don't want an upper cabinet, maybe they want open shelving, or they don't like a layout of a living room, they want to see a different option. If that's not organized, it's going to take much longer to create that option for them. If your cabinet is loose and stuck to your wall, you're going to spend time erasing it, push-pulling, cleaning it up, doing surgery to your file. But if it's properly grouped or componentized, you can just select it, put it on a tag, turn it off, delete it. You're just isolating the edit to that cabinet and then adding in what you're doing.
Okay. And once you're in layout, how do you use layout?
I highly recommend people use layout. I try to keep my entire workflow in the SketchUp program, basically, so in the SketchUp ecosystem. So I start a project in SketchUp and I end it in layout for documentation and presentation, and now SketchUp for iPad as well. So that's part of my workflow and presentation as well. But layout, yes, I mainly use it for elevations and floor plans, but I like to also have the 3D visuals, the perspective in the page, just as a reference, a 3D next to an elevation sometimes, or again, it depends on the project.
Okay. Do you also use them for mood boards or something like that?
Sometimes, a lot of my projects are less needing that. It's more about where's this wall moving.
So it's more like technical stuff.
What will fit into this kitchen. So I deal more with the layout and what is possible as far as the shell of the home or the case goods, cabinetry, things like that. Okay. So
You just talked a bit about SketchUp for iPad. How does it? Because it's pretty recent.
Yes.
So you've got SketchUp, you've got layout. How does SketchUp for iPad fit into your workflow now that you use it?
Yeah, so I love to start a project in SketchUp for iPad. It's a really fun way to just sit down.
So you start on it?
Yeah, I don't start every project in it. Again, it depends on the starting point, but I get really excited to sit down and work with it when I'm at the start of a project, because it's just a fun tool. SketchUp was already fun, but this made it even more so. So I can take pictures of the space and have them docked off to the side, and I can pull them into my drawing really easily, much more so than if I had everything on my desktop or laptop. I would have to go search in my files system to find those pictures, get them onto my computer, things like that. But if I have my iPad on site, I take pictures of all the walls and flooring, if we're going to reuse the flooring, and just get a lot of reference images, and then I can just bring them into my drawing or just reference them on the side. It's all very
integrated.
Thank you. Yes, integrated. All the information is in one spot, and then I can make markups on top of my model, and reference that when I go back to my desktop version. And so I enjoy that side of things, and again, for the presentation, being able to show the client and model in a way that they recognize. They use their iPad, they can just swipe around an orbit, especially now with presentation mode. There's a 4-finger click and all of the toolbars go
that's
away.
what we saw yesterday when they talked about it in the keynote. I was like blown away, like finally, that's because so convenient.
Yes, because sometimes when I show a client their project and the SketchUp toolbars are there, they're like, oh, look at this cute little program, and you're like, oh, okay. They think like that, oh, this is so easy. And so, which it is easy, but there's so much buried in those toolbars that they just don't even realize. And so this allows us to focus on the the design and not on the program around it. And then we can bring that back up, make edits, and then present again. So I just love the SketchUp for iPad version.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk a bit about SketchUp Basecamp. Can you talk to me about your sessions? What were they about?
So I taught a couple of sessions twice, but 7 sessions total.
So that's why you were so busy. Wow.
So busy and hard to get. I just finished my last one this morning. So I taught a workflow class for 3 hours at the boot camp for sessions. Just going through my workflow with a group of interior designers, showing them kind of a start to finish up to layout. And then in the afternoon I taught a layout class, kind of finishing that workflow, and I repeated that class, taught hands-on with SketchUp for iPad. This morning we did an iPad field trip where we ended up staying in the room, but just showing them how I would draw a space here in the convention center if I was approaching a project here, how I would get the as-built conditions into the SketchUp for iPad app. And so I did 2D space planning in a 3D world. I think you were in that one, right? Yeah. So showing how to go from 3D and gather that 2D information quickly so that you can space plan. So I had a lot that I wanted to talk about, so they let me talk about it all. So it's been really fun. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, I've loved it.
And you said that you focus on interior design, but did you have the chance to exchange with other actors in different industries, like architects or mechanical designers? Did you have the chance to exchange with them? And what were you exchanging about? How was the feeling between them?
I had a really good conversation yesterday about what do architects need from interior designers, or what do vendors like cabinet makers and things like that, what do you need from us so that the project is efficient, and what do we need from them, kind of thing. Like, we need to open up this conversation and have some sort of standard, because there is some sort of it might be antiquated, but contractors saying, oh, I don't like designers, or designers like, oh, I know that that's not across the board, but there is like a I don't know, stereotype that it's like, oh, the designer's here, or oh, the contractor's here, they're going to change it. So there just needs to be some sort of bigger conversation as to what we need from each other to make that relationship work and help each other make it good, because we all need each other. So, and we all, you know, enjoy, like I enjoy everyone here. So we just kind of need to
like a big
see
family.
what we need from each other, and how SketchUp works into that as well.
It's like a big family, big community.
It is, yeah. Oh my gosh, everybody's been wonderful. Yes.
And then we'll conclude about what was your favorite moment during this SketchUp Basecamp.
Oh gosh, besides the magic show, were you at the magic
It
show
was,
last
yeah,
night?
yeah,
That
I was there. It was
probably it. Oh
great.
my
I was
goodness.
mind blown.
Yeah, the party was so fun. The keynote, the product keynote, seeing all the new products that are. I was just up in the UX lab seeing the new, you know, features that they're working on, and so I just think we're in such an exciting time for SketchUp. Like it's, you know, they're really listening, and they really want to, you know, bring a product that we all need. That, yeah.
I think Tribal Creator has a great future in front of it.
I agree. Yes.
I can't
so
wait
fun.
to see what we can do. Thanks again, Tammy, for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and safe travels.
Thanks. Same to you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Merci.